if you have any contact with the others, just remind them if they forgot to join us or something like this. Abdurrahman Walid. Okay, here is the rules. I'm gonna try to start this session. Nader has joined. If you have any question, you can unmute yourself. Okay. Don't raise your hand because maybe I have another window to open it, so I can see your chat. So if you need any question, you can unmute yourself to ask me. The question will be in English. Do not ask me in Arabic. Okay. And don't forget to turn off your video and your voice, your audio. And today, inshallah, we are going to start in the second lesson in Unit 3. This lesson, which is talking about our Earth. If you had joined before the online meeting that we made it 3 or 4 days ago, I think, about the celestial bodies. We explained the first lesson in Unit 3. Today we are going to continue our curriculum by the second lesson. Maybe you have the third one, inshallah, next week. Then we have a final revision, or we are going to talk about your research. But you should know something about the basic information about the Earth today. This is the second lesson in Unit 3. Okay, starting with the Earth. If you can see the shared screen, just so. Here we have the Earth, you know, the only planet that we live on, because it has some characteristics not found in the other planets. Um, we are going to explain the Earth's shape and describe it, the position, the location, and the mass, and so on. Then we are going to talk about the characteristics that support the continuity of life on Earth. Why the Earth is suitable for life, not any other planet. Even the astronomers seek for finding a life on the other planets, but they didn't see any of these till now. They only seek for finding a trace for water, and because if there is water here in any planet, so there was a life here, or there is a life in this planet. If there is no water, there is no life. Okay? So all the effort that the astronomers and the scientists do to find a water on a planet only. Okay? So it has a suitable life on it, a water and the air. On Earth, we have all of these by normal temperature, available water to live in it, the air, the atmosphere that we can breathe it, and so on. So this is the characteristics that help the continuity of life on Earth. But sometimes you need to know some information about the Earth specifically. First of all, here we have the location of the Earth. Location of the Earth. The Earth is the third position away from the Sun, and the distance between the Earth and the Sun is about 150 million kilometers. And this distance is sufficient to get a normal temperature on the Earth. Okay? So I have a distance between the Sun and the Earth about 150 million kilometers. The other planets maybe have less distance or more, that makes it too hot or too cold. Okay? Here is according to the position of the Earth. According to the shape of the Earth is roughly spherical. But if you see the two poles here, the two poles here, and the equator here, okay?
Mister,
Do
I didn't hear you when you said roughly.
spherical object, okay? Sphere takes the spherical or roughly spherical object. But it has here called the tropical radius because, sorry, here the tropical radius and here the polar radius, okay? Polar related to the two poles. Though they equal in the radius, the tropical one and the two poles, which is called polar radius, are equal? No. Here we have the tropical radius here, you know, that is smaller than the tropical radius is, sorry, larger than the polar radius. Okay, by how many? It's longer than the polar radius by 22 kilometers. Okay, longer. So again, is a spherical object about to be completely circular, accompanied with a slight flattening at the two poles and indented outward at equator. So the tropical radius is about 22 kilometers larger than the polar radius. Okay, so we talked about the shape and the position of the Earth. Number three, the volume. The Earth is the medium position between the planets because it is the fourth planet regarding to the volume. It is in the arrangement, it is the fourth planet ascendingly regarding to the volume. Okay, why? Because it is bigger than all the inner planets. It's bigger than Mercury and Venus and Mars, and it is smaller than all the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Okay, so it is in the sequence from ascendingly at the fourth position. Okay, okay. The average radius of the Earth is about 6,386 kilometers. Here is the volume. Let's talk about the mass of the volume, the mass of the Earth. The mass of the Earth, it is the biggest planet on the mass as its mass about 5.9 times 10 power of 24 kilogram. 5.9 times 10 power of 24 kilogram. Okay. Okay, here what we said before regarding to the characteristics of the Earth, we've explained the mass, the volume, the position, the location, okay, and the shape of the Earth. Let's talk about the characteristics of the Earth that support the continuity of life. If I ask you that why we live on the Earth and why it's suitable for life, the logic answer from you that you are going to say because we can't breathe as we have an oxygen, gas, and we have water. Okay, the first thing that you are going to say, we have water, so we have life. And we have a gravity that hold us on the ground so we can do our activity easily. And what you are going to say is what it exists in your books. Okay? So the first thing that we are going to talk about is the atmosphere. Atmosphere consists of gases, a mixture of gases. You all know this, and we took it in grade 6, that the atmosphere consists of oxygen gas, which percentage is 21%, nitrogen 78, carbon dioxide 0.03. The oxygen gas has an importance in the respiration and combustion process, nitrogen forming protein, and carbon dioxide used in photosynthesis process by green plants. Okay. Do we have another importance for the atmosphere? Yes. If you remember what we said about the celestial bodies, we have something called meteors and meteorites. Okay. and due to the friction between meteors with the air, it burned up completely, while the meteorites, a part of it burned and the other part fall on the earth. So the atmosphere help us and protect us from meteors and meteorites because it burns up completely or incompletely regarding to the size of it. Okay? You know that the atmosphere has all weather conditions, the evaporation of water, then the condensation, formation of clouds, the rain, and the wind, and changing the weather and the climate in every region on the earth. All of these related to the atmosphere, the air. Okay, so there's a second importance of the atmosphere. It's suitable for life because it adjusts the Earth's temperature. Okay, imagine that you don't need the oxygen from the atmosphere, and there is no atmosphere. Does the temperature of the Earth still as it is without any change? No, of course, because the sun will direct it to you, exposed to you directly. Okay, so you are going to feel that the temperature becomes very hot, more than the normal temperature. That's why the atmosphere adjusts the temperature of the earth. Okay, and you know from grade 6 also that the atmosphere contains ozone layer, and this layer protect us from harmful radiations like ultraviolet radiations that comes from the outer space. Okay, I hope that you understand this one. Okay, let's talk about the second point, which is the hydrosphere. Hydro means water. Okay, the percentage of water to land is 71 to 29. So more than 70% of the earth is water, and only 29% is land. Okay, if we took all of this water, we still have this 10 minutes. I didn't explain anything else. Okay. Maybe we have less than 10 minutes. So we still have 3 or 4 parts. If we disconnected from this join online room, I'm asking you to rejoin again if you please, because I need only 5 minutes more than the time allowed here. Okay, if you don't have any problem. Okay, so the hydrosphere means that I have a water. The percentage of water is about 71. The land is 29. If we took all this water and we divide it into salty water and fresh water, we are going to find that the salty water that exists in the oceans and seas and so on, about 97% of area, water area on the earth. Okay, and the fresh water that we use it in different ways for drinking and using in daily life or in planting also, is it's only 3% of water area on the earth. Very small amount regarding to the total amount of water. Okay,
Mister, how is the fresh water is so less like this, and and all the world use it?
all the world use less than 3%. You can imagine that you use 0.02% only from this water, not the 3%, because the 3% includes in the two poles, the ice in the two poles. So you don't use them. You use less than this amount or this percent. Okay? And it's very enough for us. Okay? But regarding to the or overuse of water, so we have a problem in some countries and some cities. Okay, but these 3% for the whole world is enough. Even you can see it, it's very small, but for us, it's sufficient and enough for us. But due to the overusing and its uncontrollable process that using the water, so we have a problem in some countries that they lack to enough person to do food. Okay, did you understand this point? I hope that. Okay, what is the importance of the hydrosphere? Okay, you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. Okay, so the basics or the secret of life is water. Okay, and this water it used for the plants and the animals and the humans in every process that you need. For example, can you make a photosynthesis process without using water? Of course not. Can you use the food and take benefit from it and make a absorption process without water? No. Okay. So all of the processes regarding to the digestion of food inside your body and the absorption of food related to water. Okay. And more than, you know that more than 50% of species, known species, live in aquatic environment, live in water. Okay. So we still have a lot of species that you don't know, and more than the 50% that you know it live in water, live in aquatic environment. So this is the importance regarding to the importance of water. If you have any question, unmute yourself and ask me. Okay. Number three, or the third, from the characteristics of the Earth is the suitable temperature. Why we have a suitable temperature? We explained it before. Due to the Earth's position in the third position away from the Sun, which is 150 million kilometers, and this sufficient distance to get a suitable temperature from the Sun. Okay, the other planets like Venus is too hot, maybe 300 or 400 degrees Celsius. Okay, it reaches to 400, like you put yourself in oven. Okay, and Saturn and Jupiter, they are too cold by negative 200 and etc. Okay, so the only planet that has a normal temperature is Earth. Okay, so now we talked about the temperature. Um, about what else? Who remind me? We talked about the temperature and
The hydrosphere,
hydrosphere and atmosphere. Okay,
atmosphere.
thank you. Okay, the gravity. Can you imagine yourself flying on the space or the swimming on the space without being attracted toward the Earth center? It will be very funny for you. Am I right? But it will be
Yeah.
very funny for a specific or a limited time. After that, you are can't able to live. Why? Because you can't make your activities, your vital activities. You can walk, you can't run, you can't drink water. Even you can't plant plants or making the water exist in the earth's surface or the air, because the thing that attracts the atmosphere around the earth is the gravity. If there is no gravity, no atmosphere and no water. Okay.
How is the air attracted to the gravity of the Earth?
Okay, this is the last point. The you know that the atmosphere rotates around the Earth in a circular path, and it's attracted by the gravity. If there is no if there is no gravity on Earth, so we are not going to find oxygen or nitrogen or hydrogen gas or any other gases or carbon dioxide. Why? Because the air will leave this Earth and it goes on the space. It floats on the space. But the thing that attract these gas to the Earth is the gravity. Okay. I think, guys, if you want to join again, if you please, rejoin because you still have 2 minutes, and I have only 5 minutes from the next time to explain them. Okay, the missing part. Okay, don't raise your hand if you want any question. Unmute yourself and ask if you want.
Password and ID?
What? The same ID, the same everything. Okay, just rejoin
Okay.
again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.